We are on the final day of the VTEC pickup truck build. Tomorrow, the customer is coming to pick up the car, so that means it is officially done. The last time we left you on the videos here, it looked complete, but the car hadn't run yet. Now, before the car leaves us forever, we're going to do a quick walk around video, comprehensive look at what we've built, because we're pretty proud of it. So here it is in its completed form. We're really happy with how it turned out. If you haven't watched the last 3 videos, jump back and watch those because it gives you a kind of a more detailed view on all the little components on the car because there's a lot going on here. But let's do kind of a really good once over so that maybe if you haven't seen this car before, you can take a look because it's pretty neat. Obviously this is a pickup truck. Mini. It was originally a van Mini. It was converted into a pickup truck, and it's also got a Honda D16 engine swap that we've done. So it looks pretty basic from the outside, very classic and of the period, but in the engine bay, this is where a lot of the new tech is. So let's take a look. In here is a Honda D16 Y8 engine mated to a base model D-Series transmission. It's held in there using a McGee subframe kit. And then we've got custom built exhaust manifold, custom built intake manifold. We've got an alternator, a high amp alternator that's tucked up inside the fender here on the driver's side. And the reason we have a high amp alternator, this one is 150 amp, is because we're powering electric air conditioning, which is located in the back, but we'll get to that later. So the engine, as you can see, fits really nice in the car, and it's got about 130 horsepower. With the base model transmission, you get really good gearing that suits the 10-inch wheels that we've got. So you can cruise on the highway and just it's nice to drive. It feels like a Civic in a mini body. Yeah, I mean, we've gone over a lot of the details in previous builds, but engine is running fantastic. This is a completely rebuilt engine, completely rebuilt transmission, and now I've got about 300 miles on it, testing and driving it around, and it just purrs. It's really, really nice. So, I mean, we tried to keep it pretty clean. In here, you got the nickel-plated valve cover, the green engine block that we went over again. This is BMC green to kind of allude to the engine that was in there previously, the original engine. Everything else is tucked up really nice. We got one harness coming through here. We 3D printed a little cover plate for our chassis control computer here. So just to make it a little bit cleaner. And everything else is kind of tucked up really tidy. So, you know, upon looking at it, it looks like kind of it was meant to be there. Yeah, so moving from here, maybe we can hop to the back because that's the other cool part about this car. We've got some neat stuff going on in the bed of the truck. Let's take a look. The customer wanted kind of old school pickup truck lattice wood frame on the side, so we built these bars. They've also got little corner lights on them that light up with the ignition on, so just has a cool silhouette at night. Inside the bed, what you can see, we've got our fuel cell mounted. Again, typical kind of hot rod style, almost looks like an old propane tank or something on its side. And inside that, we built a custom housing that has our fuel sender and our EFI fuel pump, drop-in pump, and it's a factory Honda pump that we use, so it works perfectly with the engine. We've also got a spare tire mounted down in here, and a hydraulic jack that I made a mount for, so that's permanently in the car, so if you ever need to change a tire, you can pop it out, and it also just visually has something kind of cool to look at. There's a couple small details. We've got a reverse camera mounted over the license plate that works on the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror is just a reflective surface until you touch the button, and then you've got both a forward-facing camera and a reverse camera. It's pretty cool. Records just to have something to record video just in case you know, we're to get in an accident. And we've also got a funny little detail right here. We did a custom badge for this car. This is 1590, but in the same font as you would get for the original Mini 1275. But 1590 is the CC of the new engine that's in there. What you can't see right now is there is an ABS panel here that's mounted at the back side, and behind that ABS panel we have the battery is mounted back there. We've got a few circuit breakers, and then we have got our electric AC compressor. So we are running air conditioning in this car, and the compressor is electric. So it's not driven off the engine. Because of the D series, it's really hard to fit a compressor in there. So we decided to go with an electric version. So it's cleanly mounted up behind there, and we made this nice ABS panel so that when you look at the car, you don't really see a bunch of wiring and a bunch of stuff back there. If you're more interested in that setup, go back to one of the other previous videos where I talk about it more in depth, but it's working. It works great. So this is our first test of the electric air conditioning. We're pretty happy with it. It's pretty cold here in Vancouver right now, so hard to say when you're out in the California sun how it's going to do, but so far so good. So pretty excited about that. Maybe let's hop now into the inside of the car, because you've seen the dash before, but you haven't seen it with everything working. So we'll show you all our switchgear and our dash and how we've got the interior set up. All right, so here we are inside. I really like the way that the interior of this car turned out. It's really clean, just what you need and nothing you don't. But it's quite a bit of tech actually in this, despite not being able to necessarily see it at first glance. We retained a lot of the trim work that was in the car. He had a pretty nice interior. There's these quilted door cards here. The headliner is kind of an Alcantara. There's also Alcantara quilted inserts on the seats and the leather on the seats as well. So we sort of continued that theme, and we did the leather vinyl backing on the dash to give it that kind of, you know, stock Mark I look. And we do have a like Mark II on gauge bezel here, but mounted to it is our Dakota Digital dash, and then this has got our water temp, fuel, RPM, speedo, volts, and oil pressure. And then there's two little LCD screens here, and you can cycle through a whole bunch of different things with that. You can do 0 to 60, quarter mile times. There's a clock, there's a whole bunch of different sensors that you can access through those. And there's a little switch, and it's mounted just to the left of the column here, and we can cycle through that as you're driving to see all different features. So looks really clean. I like the way that the chrome matches the little chrome bits on the car. Almost don't notice it until you see it. We've also got the reverse camera mounted here. Just looks like a rear view mirror. You hit the button underneath and it turns on, and that's your forward facing and your reverse camera. We've also got the SMCO visors installed. This car is going to California where it's very hot, so got tinted windows, air conditioning, and tinted visors. Keep it cool in the summer. Then everything else is pretty standard. There is a sound system. The speakers are mounted in the back parcel shelf here. There's also a sub in behind underneath the driver's seat here. Sub control is just a little toggle that's in between the seats, and everything else is Bluetooth. So there's this little controller on the bottom here. This gives you on-off volume back forward. Turn it on, connect your Bluetooth, and you got a speaker, which is a really nice way of doing it. You don't clutter up the dash or date it with a deck. In the middle here, we've got our air conditioning and our vents for our heat. And then we've got a couple switches down below. We've got everything on a toggle switch to keep it really clean, simple, and kind of period correct. You've got your headlights, your hazards, wipers, windshield sprayer, cigarette lighter, and then that's kind of about it. You know, it's really nice to keep these cars feeling simple and not distracting from that retro driving experience, just improving it by having a more modern drivetrain. Not only do you get the power, you know, which is probably triple the horsepower that this car rolled in with, but you get kind of a usability to it, and we want the car still to feel like an old car, still to feel like a Mini, but just to be something that you can use more on a daily basis, and not be worrying so much about being stranded on the side of the road. The customer plans on driving this long distances to work, and it'd be a great car to do that in. So without further ado, let's fire it up. So ignition on, first click. You can hear the fuel pump priming. Gauges light up to tell you that everything's working. Dash cam comes on, make sure we're neutral, and so that's it for our walk around of the VTEC pickup mini truck. We're really excited to be able to do a project like this. It was a lot of fun, and you don't often see pickup truck minis, and to be able to do something with the VTEC and the electric air conditioning and the cool work on the outside, it was really fun, and we're really excited for the owner to pick it up. We've got a lot of other projects that we're working on right now. You can see them sort of in the background in the shop here. A bunch of other VTEC builds that we're doing. So probably have some videos on that. So make sure to like and subscribe, stay tuned. If you like this video, if you'd like to see more details on the projects we do, or you want to have us work on your car, make sure to hit us up on our email, put a comment down below. But now we got to wait for the owner to come, and he's got to gas the car up and hit the road down to California. See you on the next one. Burnout. I like it. He's probably giggling like a...
Yeah. What does Gnocchi think?
Gnocchi, what do you think? Yeah? You like the truck?